Yellow, everybody. A very good evening to you all. Hopefully, you can. Okay, all you can hear me, so that's great. Hello, welcome, good evening, namaste, whatever you guys like. Today, we are doing something special with our TryHackMe, going back to our TryHackMe journey, right? For this, I want to share. Well, I wanted to ask a couple of things. I want to share some interesting news that I saw on Instagram today. So I was playing around with ChatGPT, and somebody mentioned that they started 2D artwork today. So with ChatGPT, so a couple of things we'll look at is ChatGPT's 2D animated work, right? Second, we'll look into how we'll be planning our privilege escalation with Linux. And third will be how we'll be sharing our notes, right? Like what will be the best way I can share our notes. I wanted to ask from you guys, discuss with you, and then see whatever you guys like. So with that being said, let's see chat GPT 2D art animation creation chat GPT. Wait, no. The one images I was looking at is animated like this one, pixel art. This dude used ChatGPT to make pixel art sprite atlas animation. Can you do it on Comfy UI? So, so basically with this, he did something very interesting and I actually saved it on my Instagram, I believe. So let me go back to where is me? There it is, me saved. I saved it today, so that'll be interesting to see. So this was the one that got me. Create a detailed pixel art frame animation. You guys can see this, right? Create a detailed pixel art frame animation for a game where final image is divided into multiple sub images, each serving as a continuous animation keyframe. Design the sequence to depict a wizard casting a spell. Begin with so you know what, I want to do it, and let's do one interesting one I had in mind before when I was thinking to show this. So I'll go here, depict a wizard sharing this vibrant firewall with just like Kamehameha on Goku, right? Dragon Ball Z. Ensure the keyframes animation smoothly and continuously and include as many frames as possible. So this is what I was thinking. I might even add to one of my subs stuff, right? When you subscribe, there's things. So let's say here, depict me hacking the world and making things hacking the reality, hacking something like, what will be a good one according to you? I'm thinking like depicting me or turning into Iron Man and releasing some lasers from my hand. Let's see if this one will do. And here is the let's see if this one gets it. I want to share it with you. Oh, I have to pop it out first. This is one thing I really wanted to try, and once this is done, probably we can start going to our privilege escalation. Okay, beautiful. I don't know why it takes so much time, and the only thing I don't like about ChatGPT's UI is like it will keep on saying it's processing, but still like even though when it is like done with its job. These are some of the images I created recently for thumbnails. Smoky, isn't it? I like it. This is for my podcast. Ghibli face art. Let's go. Come on, come on, come on. Anybody else has done this 2D imaging before? Couldn't you do a van video in pixel art style of a wizard throwing a fireball, then extract a few frames from the end result, progress to sprite speed? Huh, interesting. Okay, OpenAI ChatGPT o1 can generate 2D animation sprite sheets, vibe coded video games. Oh, we can ask it to create GIFs too. That's crazy. Back here. Still processing. That's interesting. Too much time. Okay. Huh. Into a robot. Because of Iron Man, probably it gave the error. So GIF. Let's see if it creates a GIF. And then we'll be able to see if we can. If I can upload this on my Twitch as for like anyone or even just for subs, that'll be amazing. Takes off some pressure from me. Processing. Lots of people are creating images right now, so it might take a while. It always says that. That's stupid. Right. Okay. Till then, that is going right. Let's select some of our privilege escalation path we will be following, and moving on from that. Let's see. Here. Today's too silent. Today is a silent day. Maybe we can ask Sora to create something as well. Okay. All good. As it is going right, let's look into. I'll be creating a GitHub basically repo. Open folder. I want you to go to documents. Or even TryHackMe. New Git. Maybe I can create a new folder name, let's say Linux, or TryHackMe notes. And for this, one more thing I want to do is like use OBS, because one of my friend uses it. You probably have seen him here all the time. So Linux privilege escalation. Remove this. Others. Okay, so we have Linux privilege escalation, right? One, I think, whatever it is, I don't know. Oh, there it is. Does it create a GIF? It's not a GIF, but I like the artwork. It's beautiful. Okay. So with that being done, let's focus. Analyzing. Oh, it's giving me the code. Download the GIF. Okay. Doesn't do anything. Only okay. And this we can use some other day. But now let's get going with this last. This is the last thing we'll see today. Full robot. Okay, this is stupid. It didn't do what I wanted it to do, which is fine. And one more, wanted to share this one. An interesting article. This is what I read for you guys, so maybe I can share this and then we'll get started. No more playing around. Now we'll go with our privilege escalation. I'll close this. Okay. Linux privilege escalation. I don't want to share my. One sec. I have to make sure I'm using the right one. TryHackMe. Beautiful. Okay, hope you all can see my screen now. Now we'll start with a bunch of privilege escalations room, but let's go with what TryHackMe recommends when we go with the learn and I think hands-on challenges, modules, and we go for Linux privilege escalation whenever we can find it, or we can search actually. Rooms, learning paths. Learning path, security, nope, not here. Cloud training, roadmap, challenges, room modules is the one, but Linux privilege escalation. So privilege escalation, this is the one we'll be covering. What is shell, Linux privilege escalation, Windows privilege escalation, but we'll be focusing mostly on Linux and do a couple of other ones. Big thanks to, I forgot the name, apologies. One sec here. A big thanks to Dhaval for these room suggestions. So we'll be looking at these rooms as well. There is Linux privilege escalation, this one, and then this one. So we'll go based on the hardness, I guess. Weak file permissions, sudo, cron jobs, suid, password keys. Okay, this is good. 75 minutes, 50 minutes. This is, I think, part of the room, and this one 1300, 5000, and so almost 5000. So both of these are good. So our motto will be going over this room first. Linux privilege escalation roadmap, TryHackMe rooms. So this one will be TryHackMe rooms. This is the first one. Second will be, this will cover Linux privilege escalation one, this one. Then we'll go with this. And then we'll go with the last one. Okay, this will be our roadmap. We can close this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Okay. What is the way to, okay, I think I can do this way. So let's close this, and we'll go with privilege escalation fundamentals technique. What is a shell? What the shell, or rather I should say. And also I have Kali already set up for myself. I will be using Kali 2025. Dhaval, my man, hi bhai. What's up, brother? I was waiting for you. I actually mentioned you. I don't know if you saw it. Wanted to thank you again, right? Everyone, Dhaval is here. Dhaval Chauhan, really nice guy. Actually, I want to go to your channel and subscribe. So if you ever create, I would love to support you. So a big thanks for sharing all the information, right? All the rooms. And we are basically going to go in the same path as you mentioned. Hopefully, so first we'll be covering in the privilege escalation, we'll be going with this room, covering what the shell and Linux privilege escalation. Then we'll be covering these rooms as well, right? This one, privilege escalation, right? Because this is medium 2. And then we'll be covering the arena one with that. How does that sound? Do you like that idea? Some more water. Awesome. Let's get going then. Hopefully you have set up the virtual machine, right? And we'll go over. Best part, let me know if you need the notes. I will be making notes on the side, and I will be happy to share it. So we'll start with what the shell. An introduction to sending and receiving reverse or bind or blind shells when exploiting target machines. So let's join this room. What is a shell? Before we get into the intricacies, I just woke up here in India. That's why I'm a bit late. All good, brother. Actually, I know this is like a timing thing, is a big thing, right? The reason I started earlier, I used to do a bit late, so it's easy for people in India, but there are so many time zones, so I thought this one was the best one for now. But the good part is on Friday, my longest streams are on Friday, and you will be able more comfortable because it will be around this time, and then we'll go for long. We'll go for a couple of 3 hours or maybe 4 hours. So be ready. It will be your Saturday morning. So hopefully Hopefully we can get a lot of learning done together. So let's get this one. What is a shell? Before we get into increases of sending and receiving shells, I don't know what this means. Let's see. What does this mean? Intricate. Intricate. Very complicated. So basically, before we go into the details of sending and receiving shells, it's important to understand what a shell actually is. In the simplest possible terms, shells are what we use when interfacing with command line environment. So basically, whenever we are, let's say on here, terminal, your shell, this is it, right? This is your shell. In other words, the command bash or sh programs in Linux are examples of shell, as are cmd.exe, so command or PowerShell on Windows. When targeting remote systems, it is sometimes possible to force an application running on the server, such as a web server for example, to execute arbitrary code. So we are able to ask one of the apps to execute code, right? Basically, simple any type of code. When this happens, we want to use this initial access to obtain a shell running on the target. In simple terms, we can force the remote server to either send us command line access to the server, basically a reverse shell. Basically, we are able to get a shell running on a remote server, or to open a port on the server which we can connect to in order to execute further commands. A bind shell, reverse shell, and bind shell. If you want, I'll give you a quick example of this. Right? Let's say here is our server. Right? There is first one. First one is reverse shell. In reverse shell, let's say if we have our computer, we are sitting on our computer here. That's horrible drawing, but that's fine. So we are able to send a command to the server, and we are getting all the responses. We can see everything just like as if we are working in our own computer, right? If I do ls, I will get all the things that are inside this folder. Similar, that is reverse shell for you, right? But here's the thing. Bind shell is a bit different, because if you remember yesterday when we were doing with the docs GPT, we were able to use the command touch, and this will be bind. Let me type that first. People call it bind, blind, same thing. Basically blind or bind. Why? Because we won't be able to see. So if I do ls, imagine I'm not able to see anything. That's what bind is. Yesterday when we were able to run a touch command on it, remember the worker node, we were able to touch, so it happens. We don't know if it actually happened or not. We can't see, we don't get an instant response, but we just, let's say, assume that it happens, right? And so that's the main difference in terms of what they were seeing in the system. Hopefully that makes sense. Give me a thumbs up if it does, so it's easy for me to understand that you guys are getting it. In simple terms, we can force the remote server to either send us command line access to the server, a reverse shell, or to open up a port on the server which we can connect to in order to execute further commands. Right? Open up a port, basically. We will be covering both of these scenarios in further detail throughout the room. The format of this room is as follows. The bulk of the room is made up of information with examples given in blocks and screenshots. Okay, there are two virtual machines, one Linux, one Windows, in the last two tasks of the room. These can be used to practice the techniques demonstrated. There are example practice questions in task 13. Feel free to work through these or follow along with the tasks as you complete them. Without further ado, let's begin. Reverse shell attacker set up a listener like net. Yes, exactly. In reverse shell, you are able to set up a listener. You are able to listen what the server is going to return, right? Compared to basically in the bind one, you are not able to listen. You are just sending. Or best example actually, I think is like this is not the best thing to, not the best example, but like kind of funny one will be this. Open image in new tab. Here in there is a receiver sender, right? Bind shell, victim sets up a listener on their own machine. Yeah, basically, yes. Bind shell, you are basically sending the commands on there. It's not always like I will say it's not 100% a shell. Yeah, like if you call bind shell, then it's a shell. But like bind command injection is also can be similar, right, with the privilege escalation or just sending the data. But here is kind of the example, right? We have a listener. We have, so the server is sending the data. We are listening and doing that. In this case, we are just sending all those commands and assuming, hopefully, it's happening. So basically, that's so. Hopefully, that's good. But I think I love your definitions, by the way, Double. Nice work. There are a variety of tools that we will be using to receive reverse shells and to send bind shells. In general terms, we need malicious shell code as well as a way of interfacing with the resulting shell. We'll be discussing each of these briefly below. So first one is netcat. Netcat is the traditional Swiss Army knife. If you want to know what Swiss Army knife is, Swiss Army knife, best is, let me show you the image. So this is the image of a Swiss Army knife, right? What these does is basically it has so many things, right? It has a wine opener, it has almost like so many cutting things, so many different type of knives. That's what Swiss Army knife means, able to do a lot. Netcat is kind of a similar thing for networking. It is used to usually perform all kind of network interactions, including things like banner grabbing during enumeration, but more importantly for our uses, it can be used to receive reverse shells and connect to remote ports attached to bind shells on a target system. Netcat shells are very unstable, easy to lose by default, but can be improved by techniques that we will be covering in the upcoming task. Love that. So, SOCAT. SOCAT is like Netcat on steroids. Oh, okay. I never heard of SOCAT. Have you guys used SOCAT before? I never heard of it. SOCAT is like Netcat on steroids. It can do all of the same things and many more. SOCAT shells are usually more stable than Netcat shells out of the box. In this sense, it is vastly superior to Netcat. However, there are two big catches. The syntax is more difficult. Netcat is installed on virtually every Linux distribution by default. SOCAT is very rarely installed by default. So, good thing to know is like one shell, and then we have netcat. Remind me, like I'll send you all the notes in the Discord, okay? Please and thank you. There are workarounds to both of these problems we will cover later on, but both SOCAT and netcat have .exe versions to use for Windows. So in Windows you can only use .exe, right? So that's why they're saying Metasploit, our great old Metasploit we were talking about yesterday, right? The exploit multi-handler module of Metasploit framework is like SOCAT and netcat, used to receive reverse shells. Due to being part of the Metasploit framework, multi-handler provides a fully fledged way to obtain stable shells, with a wide variety of further options to improve the caught shell. It also the only way to interact with Meterpreter shell and is the easiest way to handle staged payloads, both of which will look in task 9. Okay, let me read this. First of all, I'm actually like, my brain is, I'm having some headache. Let me take my medicine. Sorry, I've been having headaches from a couple of days now, so I have to take this medicine. Okay, so let's look at this. Multi-handler provides a fully fledged way to obtain stable shells. Wide variety of further options to improve the caught shell. Okay, it also the only way to interact with Meterpreter shell and is the easiest way to handle staged payloads, both of which will look. So okay, Meterpreter shell. Interesting. MSF Venom. If you guys knew Bandit, right, from our last two videos, Bandit was the first creator of MSF Venom. He saw the issue, he liked the idea, and then started developing on Metasploit. So amazing guy. Like multi-handler, MSF Venom is technically part of Metasploit framework. However, it is shipped as a standalone tool. MSF Venom is used to generate payloads on the fly. Whilst MS Venom can generate payloads other than reverse and bind shells, these are what we will be focusing on in this room. MSF Venom is an incredibly powerful tool, so we will go into its application in much more detail in a dedicated task. Beautiful. Aside from the tools we have already covered, there are some repositories of shells in many different languages. One of the most prominent of these is payload all things. Okay, we have already covered some repositories of shells. Okay, payload all things. What is this? A list of useful payloads and bypass for web application security and pen test. Oh, okay. Oh, I've already started. I didn't even know. Payload all things. List of useful payload bypasses for web application. Feel free to improve your payloads and techniques. I love pull requests. Okay, beautiful. I'll send you guys this link then. Looks like a good link. Okay, now it comes. I love you able to put like dash e and everything right over here. I love that. Okay, payload for all things, right? So let's go back. One of the most prominent of these is payload for all the things. The pentest monkey reverse cheat sheet, which like I use all the time. I'll send this one. Wayback Machine. Why it isn't a Wayback Machine? Okay, have you looked? Okay, I've watched the first part. It's nice. The good thing is that the channel isn't even grown much yet, and still, such a person did a podcast. The community is awesome. Oh, thank you so much, man. Thank you. Yeah, my I just have you do you know Daniel Rondolph? That's the guy I think. Harry Potter guy. Daniel. I like this guy honestly because this guy is at this point doing anything he wants. And I'm like, I have a stable job now. I can do whatever I want because this guy is rapping sometimes, doing crazy, crazy things. So that's what I like. He made it big with Harry Potter. Now he's doing like interesting things, like whatever project he wants. He's rapping sometimes, just enjoying his life. So that's what like this guy is my inspiration, kind of like my annual like just doing things I like, just doing things I like. I like talking to people, inviting them, understanding how they approach the game, and trying to ask questions which can help the community. So hopefully I can keep continuing this game. It'll be fun. And the most important thing that keeps me going is the chats I get from you guys, like Twitch, YouTube, and like somebody today said this, which was my favorite thing I've heard all the of all time. I think it was here. No, not here. So here, somebody said, "Thank you, YouTube algorithm." This like made my day, and my man Ben is always awesome. Stimulus 5. So thank you so much for those chats and everything. It helps me a lot. Keep going forward. Okay, let's get going, but that's important as well. In addition to these online resources, Kali Linux also comes pre-installed with a variety of web shells located in user shell web shells. The seclist repo. This is a great repo. I really love this repo. Oh, I haven't started this. So seclist has a bunch of payloads, usernames, web shells, and all those things. Helps me a lot through this. So I'll send you guys this list. This too. The seclist repo, though primarily used for word lists, also contains some very useful code for obtaining shells. What one thing we can do is maybe we can do a long stream on one of the weekends whenever we get time and like cherry pick what are the most useful ones one day. That'll be fun, right? Like just and it would be more like in Discord, not even a stream. Just we all hang out in Discord, just cherry pick all our favorite shells. Okay, now task 3, types of shell. At a high level, we are interested in two kinds of shell when it comes to exploiting a target: reverse shells and bind shells. Reverse shells are when the target is forced to execute code that connects back to our computer. On your own computer, you would use one of the tools mentioned. Let me read that. Okay, here. Right now, you are in Canada, right? And you are not working in cybersecurity yet, but in the future we will work together. I promise you. Sorry, I'm spamming you with it. No, 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 100%, bro. Message me. I love these messages, and 100%. I would love to work with you in future. We can even like we don't even have to wait. We can just do something. If you are into something, let's say called hackathons or something like that, right? There is DevPost is a good one. I have a account on this. There are so many interesting things that are happening. If you're interested, even CTF challenges and stuff, we don't have to wait for future. If you want, hit me up. Let's have a call, and who knows, we can do some CTF challenges together. We can do some interesting things. If you're into this, I would love to like form a team and do stuff. But yeah, don't worry. Feel free to message. I love the messages. Reverse shells are when the target is forced to execute code that connects back to your computer. On your own computer, you would use one of the tools mentioned in the previous task to set up a listener, which would be used to receive the connection. So you would use one of the tools like netcat mentioned in the previous task to set up a listener, right? Reverse shells are a good way to bypass firewall rules that may prevent you from connecting to arbitrary ports on the target. However, the drawback is that when receiving a shell from a machine across the internet, you would need to configure your own network to accept the shell. This, however, will not be a problem on TryHackMe network due to the method by which we connect to the network. We're using our VPN, right? In VPN, it's basically we are in the same. Let's say if we are, this is a network, and this is your home network or company like targets target, and this is your home, right? With this, you might not be able to get it because like certain firewall rules even your router has and all those, but because we are going to use a tunnel like VPN, it will act like your home network or your computer is actually part of this network, is an extended part of this home network. So that's what they are talking about. Let me see the message. I hacked mostly web. I have NASA Hall of Fame and much more, but network part, I'm not a good right now. So that's why. Yeah, wow, NASA Hall of Fame. That's beautiful, bro. That's amazing. That's amazing. I would love to chat with you about this. This is amazing. This is great. I love the fact like I'm so many amazing people come to this. And yeah, like networking is my not so strong part too, so I would love to work with you together. Bind shells are when the code executed on the target is used to start a listener attached to a shell directly on the target. Is when the code executed on the target is used to start a listener attached to a shell directly on the target. So basically, both are on the target. This would then be opened up to the internet, meaning you can connect to the port that the code has opened and obtain remote code execution that way. So just like we did with like 7091 port, we didn't open the port; it was open. But like with RC, we were able to create RCE remote code execution to that worker node. This has the advantage of not requiring any configuration on your network, but may be prevented by firewalls protecting the target. So you are sending payloads in certain way, right? As a general rule, reverse shells are easier to execute and debug. However, we will cover both examples below. Don't worry too much about the syntax here. We will be looking at it in the upcoming tasks. Instead, notice the difference between the reverse and blind shell in the following situations. Oh, okay. So here, reverse shell example. Let's start with the more common reverse shell. 9 times out of 10, this is what you will be doing, especially in the CTF challenges like those on of TryHackMe. Look, take a look at the following image. On the left, okay, let's see. On the left, we have a reverse shell listener that receives the connection. On the right is a simulation of sending a reverse shell. So basically here we are able to type like who am I, we are listening to the port and we are typing who am I. Whatever we get here, right one is on the machine, left one we are on our machine, right one is the target. In reality, this is more likely to be done through code injection on remote websites or something along those lines. Picture of the image on the left as being your own computer and the right as the part of being the target. On the attacking machine, we have sudo netcat nvlp 443, and then on the target we have netcat local IP port -c. So same commands which you send, right? Amazing. Notice that after I don't let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever okay, like I'm just thinking, have you ever on TryHackMe, have you ever been where there is a bind shell you did? I never did any bind shell on TryHackMe. Notice that after running the command on the right, the listener receives a connection. Okay, when the whoami command is run, we see that we are executing commands on the target user. The important thing there is that we are listening to our own, okay, let me make it up, own attacking machine and sending a connection from the target. When whoami is executing, the important thing here is when we that we are listening to our own attacking machine and sending connection from the target. Bind shell example. Bind shells are less common but still very useful. Once again, take a look at the following image. Again, on the left we have the attacker's computer, on the right we have the simulated target. Just to shake things up a little, we'll use a Windows target this time. First, we start a listener on the target. So basically using this, first we are using netcat nvlp 8080-c command exe, so executing a command shell listener. At first we start a listener on the target. This time we are not telling it to execute, we are also telling it to execute command.exe, basically the command prompt. Like if I do CMD here, this guy, this what we are asking. Then with the listener up and running, we connect to our own machine to the newly connected port. So basically this sends it, and we are already listening to its port 8080. So on port 8080 on that machine, it starts to listen and do these things. On target, we have NVLP. On the attacking machine, we have this. As you can see, this once again gives us code execution on the remote machine. Not that this is not specific to Windows. Note that this is not specific to Windows. So because it's netcat, right, it's same for all. The important thing to understand here is that we are listening on the target, then connecting to it with our own machine. The final concept which is relevant in this task is that of interactivity. Shells can be either interactive or non-interactive. Interactive if you used PowerShell, Bash, ZSH, SH, or any other standard CLI environment, then you will be used to interactive shells. These allow you to interact with programs from executing them. Allow you to interact with programs after executing them. For example, take the SSH login prompt. So SSH Muri at localhost. Simple, right? Here you can see that it's asking interactively that the user type either yes or no in order to continue the connection. This is an interactive program which requires an interactive shell in order to run. Non-interactive shells don't give you that luxury. In a non-interactive shell, you are limited to using programs which do not require any user interaction in order to run properly. Unfortunately, the majority of simple reverse and bind shells are non-interactive, which can make further exploitation trickier. Let's see what happens when we try to run SSH in a non-interactive shell. So we are listener, right? Listening on this port 443, correct? Somebody connected with the bind shell. We do who am I, and then we do SSH Muri at localhost. Notice that whoami command, which is a non-interactive, executes perfectly, but SSH command, which is interactive, gives you no output at all. As an interactive side note, the output of an interactive command does go somewhere. However, figuring out where is an exercise for you to attempt on your own. So basically, I think if we even type yes here, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm doing this, and I did SSH Muri at localhost, won't I just do yes? The yes will do the job for me. I don't have to look much anywhere. And also where it would go, like I would love to know. Do you know? Do you know where it will go? Any idea? Suffice to say that interactive programs do not work in a non-interactive shells. Additionally, in previous places throughout this task, you will see a command in screenshots called listener. This command is an alias unique to the attacking machine, used for demonstrating in a shorthand way of listening to sudo rv rl wrap nc. Oh, okay, which will be covered in the upcoming task. It will not work on any other machine unless the alias has been configured. So what is RL wrap? I don't understand that. Do you guys know this one? Do you know what this one is? RL wrap. It writes data to files. Shell. It can be used to break out from restricted environments by spawning an interactive shell system. Huh. Readline wrapper, a small utility that uses GNU readline library to allow the editing of keyboard input to any command. Okay, I think I will use wrap examples of its uses. What do you guys say? You are setting up a listener on port 443, often allowed through firewalls, and using RRF so that the shell connects. You can use arrow keys, history, etc. Oh, yeah, normal netcat. Oh, that's cool. The command utility that adds readline features such as line editing, persistent command, history, and tab completion. Oh, tab completion is big one for me. That do not natively support them. Many command line tools, especially older specialized ones, telnet and all those, netcat, etc., lack these modern convey. Oh my god, this is actually great, bro. This is great. I needed something like that. This is a good learning. Let's go. W. W's in the chat. Like, I love when saying this. W's in the chat. Okay. I think this was a good one. This is a good thing I came out of this one. So let me just go through. There was one more thing I wanted to look into. Gives us an output at all. As an interactive side note, the output of the interactive does go somewhere, however, figuring out where. This is what I want to look into. One thing to look into, I guess. Okay. So now let's solve these. What type of shell connects back to a listening port on your computer? Reverse shell or bind shell? I would love if you give me the answers in this. I'm going to read through 1, 2, 3 and try to answer all these, and I would be very happy. I would really appreciate, please. What type of shell connects back to a listening port on your computer? R for reverse, B for bind. You have injected malicious shell code. I'm sorry, one second. You have injected various malicious shell code into a website. This is the shell you received likely to be interactive, yes or no? When using bind shells, would you execute a listener on attacker or the target? So, what will be Dhawan, especially you, Dhaval? What will be the answers, boy? Let's see. So for first, what type of shell connects back to the port on your computer, reverse or bind? You already probably know, right? R, reverse. You have injected malicious shell code into a website. So basically in this we are sending, here is yours, here is the server, you, server. In this you send the code and it will be executed in here. So basically and you will get a reverse shell after it executes a listener here. So in the shell you are likely to be interactive or non-interactive. Bind shells are non-interactive. What's taking so much time to load? When using bind shell, would you execute a listener on the attacker or on the target? In the bind, it is target. Beautiful. Awesome. So now we'll be working towards netcat, and this is probably going to be the last task just for today because I have a headache right now. I'm not able to complete my words honestly. So maybe we might even look at task 5. Let's see. So sorry today. Tomorrow I will be much better shape. I promise. Netcat, as mentioned previously, Netcat is the most basic tool in pentesters toolkit when it comes to any kind of networking. With it, we can do a wide variety of interesting things, but let's focus now on shells. Reverse shells. In the previous task, we saw that reverse shells require shellcode and a listener. Yeah? There are many ways to execute a shell, so let's start by looking at the listener. So the syntax of the netcat is basically netcat nvlp and port number. L is basically for listener, V is for verbose, N tells netcat not to resolve hostname or use DNS, explaining it to this with the scope of the room. Basically, it's telling, okay, go just to this port, do not use DNS or anything else. Dash P indicates that the port specification will follow. Okay, beautiful. Okay, the example in the previous task used port 443. Realistically, you could use any port you like as long as there isn't already a service using it. Be aware that if you choose to use a port below 1024, you will need to use sudo when starting your listener. That said, it's often a good idea to use a well-known port number, 80, 443, 53 being good choices, as this is more likely to get passed through outbound firewall rules on the target. Any port you like, as long as they aren't isn't already in a service using it. So basically 80, 443, they are majority of the time in service. Be aware that if you choose to use a port below 1024, you will need to use sudo when starting your listener. Why is that? Do you know why? Why would this be a thing? I'm live, right? Yeah. Why is this a thing? Explain. Anybody here knows why, like, to use sudo for before 1024 but not otherwise? Ports below 1024 require sudo for binding because they are designated as privileged ports in Unix-like system. This restriction exists to prevent untrusted users from impersonating critical network services like HTTP, SSH that typically operate on these ports. Here's why. Trust verification services on ports are often system critical, restricting them to root ensures only authorized processes can run these services, reducing spoofing risk. That's interesting. So basically, historical context developed when multi-user systems were common. This model assumed root-controlled machines were physically secure. While less relevant today, the restriction remains for backward compatibility. Privilege, okay. Compatibility sudo setcat cap net bind service plus this. Okay. This is amazing. I had no idea. It's done for security reasons so that only trusted systems like SSH, yeah, can be important. Yeah. That's amazing, right? In sorry, it's loading. In Linux Unix systems, only the root users Oh, ad break started. All good. I'm just going to read through this. Um, yeah, we don't have much on. In Linux and Unix systems, only the root user or a process with the elevated privilege is allowed to bind or listen to these ports. Ports below one are called privileged ports or well-known ports. Yeah, that's amazing. That's crazy, bro. How you know so much? Like how long you have been doing this for? We have to talk after this, or maybe actually not today, but tomorrow for sure. Because my head is like gone. For most development scenarios, using this avoids the need for sudo directly reserve low ports for production deployments with proper service management. Amazing. That's great. I had no idea about this. This is a good learning, I think, at least for me. Um, oh, so I got the idea, and then let's move forward with the next thing. That said, it's often a good idea to use a well-known port number, right? As this is more likely to get past the outbound firewall rules on the target. A working example of this would be sudo nc nvlp443. We can then connect back to this with any number of payloads depending on the environment on the target. An example of this, excuse me, let me read again. We can then connect back to this with any number of payloads depending on the environment on the target. Example of this is displayed in the previous task. Correct. Bind shells. If we are looking to obtain a bind shell on the target, then we can assume that there is already a listener waiting for us on a chosen port on the target. All we need to do is connect to it. This syntax of this is relatively straightforward. So target IP NC, instead of listener, we are not mentioning the listener thing, right? Here we are using netcat to make an outbound connection to the target on our chosen port. We will look at using netcat to create a listener for this type of shell in task 8. What's important here is that you understand how to connect to a listening port using netcat. I think this is pretty straightforward. Basically, you are using NC, IP, and the port we are choosing. Which options tells netcat to listen? Okay, and then let's see. How would you connect to a bind shell on the IP address this with port 8080? Let your answers in, baby. So let's see. NC 10.10.10.11 port 8080. Beautiful. So now let's go over this one too because it's part of the netcat, and then from tomorrow we can take socat, common shell payloads, and Metasploit related modules. So netcat shell stabilization. Okay, so we have caught our connected. So we have caught or connected to a netcat shell. What's next? These shells are very unstable by default. Pressing Control C kills the whole thing. Interesting. Yeah, they are not. They are non-interactive and often have strange formatting errors. This is due to netcat shells really being processes running inside a terminal rather than being bona fide terminals in their own right. I've never heard of this word. Oh, genuine terminals. Okay, okay. Being bona fide terminals in their own right. Fortunately, there are many ways to stabilize netcat shells on Linux systems. We'll be looking at 3 here. Stabilization of Windows reverse shell tends to be significantly harder. However, the second technique that we will be covering here is particularly useful for it. So how much is this? Okay, not much. So we will be able to cover this. Let me close this like this. Okay. So basically, they said due to the netcat being like netcat shells are basically processes running inside terminal, not a good one. They need to be actual genuine shells. Many ways to stabilize netcat shells in the Linux, right? And we will be looking at three. Technique one, Python. Okay, I think this is where we will learn some good stuff. The first technique we'll be discussing is applicable only to Linux boxes, as they will clearly always have Python installed by default. There are three-stage process. I think at this point, does all Windows have Python in them? Because Windows does not include systems of. Oh, okay, still not. It's still not, huh? Oh, Krish, my brother, I'm doing good. How you doing? Hope you are having a great day, man. We are doing some. Yeah, no, it does not. Yeah, I remember like I felt because a lot of them has WSL, right? So I thought like they should have it, but I forgot like I legit installed the Python couple of weeks ago. So I wish they did though. I wish they did. That'll be good for hackers, I guess. And there's so many needy greedy things. Like Python should be good. Part is like one thing I actually want to show. I'll appreciate that Microsoft Store themselves has like I wanted to learn Minecraft, man, but yeah, sorry, got distracted. Python. They have this Python one installed, right? As you can see, that actually was super simple. I loved it. But yeah, I always wonder why they don't have it by default. Do you anybody know why they don't have Python installed by default? Why Windows does not have Windows holy my English. Why Windows does not come with Python pre-installed? Here's the man. Honestly, I think it would be a kind of a bad for Python for Microsoft to ship it with Windows because that would efficiently bless whatever version they pick as de facto standard Python for a long, long time. This isn't a problem for Apple and Linux distro because of their market share and because of their frequent updates. They can change their system Python every year and so be more and less certain that most of their users will get the OS release that it has that has it. But Windows version hang around for years, if not decades. People do not upgrade until they buy a new computer, and it's a very PC. It's on every PC in the world. Devs will target whatever lowest common denominator gets them for all those PCs, and that won't be anything close to what the latest and greatest Python is, which seems like it would be chill development at the leading edge quite a bit. That's actually a very what do you guys think about this? That's actually a very interesting point to bring out. Python and Windows 8. Upgrading Python won't break any code. Window update can update Python easily by default. We have used to work with old Python versions better than okay, macOS has been very slow with Python upgrades. You can write scripts running on the macOS. Just half a year ago, I finally convinced the top level to use Postgres 9.3 in some production servers. Now I struggle politically to upgrade to 9.5. 10 years ago. Holy, that's crazy. This world. You know, one of the most interesting things I found out after working with so many big, giant tech companies and like super big companies. First of all, they don't like upgrading. That's a big truth in there. Very few of them are actually like comfortable with upgrading their softwares. Second, they will be very fast at for upgrading their systems once they get hacked. Once they get hacked, they will upgrade their system like so fast. So fast. And I have seen it. Like I have actually seen it. How the culture changes after a hack. Have you guys noticed that? Like, I can't name the company which had this for, you know, I might get fired. But yeah, this is a big thing. And you can have good, like this is my one thing I can share with you guys is you can have a lot of good intentions for the company, but company won't have those intentions for itself. Yeah, like think about it. Like I love India, right? Indian government, but like a lot of them are using very old code. Oh, this is way new. This is way new. Last time I checked, it was super. Or even CIB. Was the course? Oh, I'm actually. So I was born in Rajasthan, but brought up in Delhi. And after my high school, after 12th, I came to Canada because I did clear JEE mains and everything. Oh, they have improved this one too. I remember like just 5, 6 years ago, it was like the worst website, kept on going down. Oh, I might have my name here too. But yeah, so I think in 2017, I came to Canada, have been here since. And yeah, I like it here. In some ways, I love India in so many ways too. And yeah, that has been my journey, I guess. What I was saying, I forgot. But yeah, I hopefully that answers your question. Well, I love India, man. I miss India. I try to go to India. I save my money all year. I don't have a car. A lot of people, when they come to Canada, first thing they buy is a car. I don't have a car even after 8 years. I save my money. I've been saving financially. Thank God I'm strong. And then I just go to India to see my parents, especially during Diwali time. That is my biggest thing. Like I want to spend money. I have a cool bug found in an Indian site, which I found any one number, not anyone, but some which I found. Oh, you could found anyone's number, not anyone, but even some celebrities. Wow, wow, that's amazing. It's crazy, bro. And that's the thing, right? You need to upgrade these things, or won't they won't like you have things happen, then only people will start hiring. It's crazy. One name actually I can take is I think CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike actually lost so much money that they had to get some reliability engineers and stuff for so they don't take down internet again. So that was an interesting one in my opinion. Okay, let's see. Before we lose our track again. Technique 1 Python. The first thing we'll be discussing applicable only to Linux boxes as they nearly always have Python installed by default. There are 3 stages process. Say I don't share on here, so that's why you can connect with me in X. Oh, sure. I will love to. I'll send you a request just after this. I would love to. And you can we can chat in the Discord too if you like. I love that. Like we have voice chat and all those things. And do you guys like to play Marvel Rivals or Fortnite or any of the video games? Or like Rocket League? I know Stimulus loves to play Rocket League. I wanted to do that. Like I want to like over the weekends just not through streaming but just like we are hanging out in the Discord chat just playing some games. That'll be interesting. Yeah, but let's get going with this. The first thing to do is use python-c import pty.spawn bin bash, which uses Python as a spawn to better uh, featured bash shell. Note that some targets may need the version of Python specified. If this is the case, replace Python with Python 2 or Python 3 as required. At this point, our shell will look a bit prettier, but we still won't be able to use tab, autocomplete, or arrow keys, and Control C will still kill the shell. Step 2 is export term xterm. This will give us access to term commands such as clear. Nice. Finally, and also most importantly, we will background the shell using Control Z. Back in our own terminal, we used stty raw echo fg. This does two things. First, it turns off our own terminal echo, which gives us access to tab autocompletes and arrow keys and Control C to kill processes. It then foregrounds the shell, thus completing the process. Okay, this is interesting. So let's see. We got our shell. We ran Python. Export term, so we can use the clear thing and like the clear command to clear all the terminal. And then we have Control Z. And then we came out of that shell. In the background, it is running or stopped, whatever. SSTY raw echo FG. Oh, foreground, brought into foreground. Who am I shell? Oh, beautiful. Okay, that's interesting. So when we do echo and all those will be gone. Huh. This is full technique will be seen here. Note that if the shell dies, any input in our own terminal will not be visible as a result of having disabled terminal echo. To fix this, type reset and press enter. Any input on our terminal will not be visible. Okay, this is amazing actually. Honestly, how I don't know who came up with this, but this is like interesting. I'm just going to create this, put this in the notes. To make or not the terminal, but the shell better. Okay. And lads, I'm so sorry. My brain is hurting too much today. Like I took the medicine, but I feel like it's just going to hurt a lot more. Probably because like I've been like in front of screens from 8 a.m. in the morning. And that's why. Let me just go back here again. Is that okay with you guys? Like if we can end here? I know like we discussed we'll do more at least task 5. Is it okay if we end at task 5 and pick it up from here? But tomorrow I promise we'll do task 5. Let's see what task 6 is. SOCAT. This is big, but this is good. Looks good. SOCAT encrypted shells. Okay. And common shell payloads. So how about this? Like I promise you guys we'll do at least minimum depending. Today is hurting. My brain is just hurting too much. Sorry. But tomorrow we will cover netcat shell stabilization. Why I'm not able to share? Oh, not sure. 1 second. Let me see. Maybe there might be just locks. I have to see. Stream setting. 1 second, boss. Participants, moderation activity, send feedback, reactions. That's a good question. I don't actually know right now. Maybe I have to. No, not cancel. Okay. YouTube live allow sharing link. Okay. Cannot post links in the live stream chat. The checkbox whether links are allowed in chat. Okay. Let me see, boss. Like, give me 1 sec. Let's channel level settings. Nope. Webcam analytics. Let's figure that out at least. Your channel should be in the setting. Settings, channel, advanced settings. Don't have potentially appropriate. 1 sec. Standard features. Can you see like on Google standard features? Okay. Permissions. URL sent in the live chat are already blocked. If you select this option, new commenters with hashtag or URLs will be held. This settings doesn't. They are already blocked. Allow channels to redirect my content default. So I think this is by default. Comments on YouTube channel. Comments, moderation. Can you do now? 1 sec. Wait. None. Okay, can you do now? Let's see. Hopefully you are able to now. Just send like any link, I guess. Let's see. I know in Twitch I did that. I should be able to, I believe. Yeah, I'm able to, at least. No, not working. Okay, what I will do, I will look into that. Like, I'll take, for now, I'll just end the stream. What I will do, I will, can you send me the link, right, on Discord? You can DM me directly. Send me the link there. Let me post it here. And let's see. What I will do by tomorrow, I will have this fixed for you. Sorry, I had no idea you could not do it. So, apologies about that. It's interesting though. I changed the settings. Still, it is like this. Will you be able to send me in the? Will you be able to send it to me in Discord? I'm eating my own words. I forgot I have to eat too. I forgot. Oh yeah. Welcome. Oh hey Chris. And just chatting. Okay. GitHub payload all things. Yes. Thank you. This is an interesting one. Ooh. Hey, Gaurav here too. Oh, hey, buddy. So, if anybody's wondering what that voice was, that's because DJ Mali Boy just did a follow. So howdy boy, how's it going? His name is Gaurav too, so that's amazing. Howdy brother, how you doing? Big thanks to following. Going great, awesome, nice. Let me ask everybody this question: are you all coming from like IST times, or are you all from India? Just watching random streams. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Welcome to the family. IST, awesome. The reason I selected this time zone, right? Because it was I have some work, so I can go. Yeah. Oh, Chris, you're from Nepal. Oh, nice. Our neighbor. What's up, homie? But yeah, I'll be ending the stream too. Sorry, DJ bro, Gaurav. Um, Thanks. Yeah, 100%. My usual timing, I will be posting in Discord as well. Let me post my Discord. Thing is, I'm just really, my head is hurting from last half an hour. So today I can't go further. I'm so sorry, brother. I'm so sorry about this. Your first one. Thank you, Chris. Yeah. But tomorrow I promise what all we will be covering, and I will be posting my whole thing. Netcat shell stabilization. We'll work through this. SOCAT encrypted shells, and common payload. We will be covering all these 4 tasks for this shell. And you know what? Let me ask you. I'll be doing a giveaway soon, right? Just waiting for a couple of things, but I will be doing a giveaway soon. So please join the Discord, chat with us. This is the one I just sent, bro. Intro to shells. It's called What the Shell or Intro to Shells. Hopefully you got the link, right? And I will point it in my Discord as well for if somebody loses it, right? Doing what the shells today. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Gaurav, hey, welcome, brother. I love that. A wild Gaurav appeared. I love that. But yeah, so thank you so much. I'll see you. Oh, the reason I'm ending, actually, I took from last half an hour, my head is hurting today. Is I was working from 8 in the morning. I started 8 in the morning till 4 or 5. Took just make some food, right? And had to get some stuff done today and started streaming. So I didn't get a rest today at all. So yeah, because usually during evening I take like a break. Oh, nice. Yeah, I will watch you. Let me follow you. It'll be nice. Hopefully I'll be back, then I can watch some stream. So that'll be great. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone, right? Love you all. And I will see you tomorrow. We'll cover what the shell and stabilization, which will be a very amazing thing. So thank you. Have a great day. Remember, just help each other and just spread love, I guess. Thank you. Bye. Have a good night, everyone. A good day, too. Bye.